from all, a lot was shown, but those that showed the most was Seven and Bright Mo. I grew up on the block.
Resident Evil 6.
Fat Preacher Man here, just doing a little commentary. Thought I would also, while we were doing a Resident Evil, mention The Walking Dead. I don't know if you saw the first episode. I mentioned it briefly, one of my other posts, but I just want to talk about it some more, my thoughts and feelings about what really happened and what happened to Herschel. And I don't know, if you haven't seen it, don't listen, because this is going to be a spoiler. But Herschel got messed up, got his leg chopped off, and I mean, they were chopping. They didn't even pull away like in Misery. You assume what happened. You saw his feet and his one leg get chopped off, and of course, Rick did that to try to save him so he'd be able to save the baby if need be. And that whole time that they're planning this, I just knew something was going to happen. I thought it was going to be that she was going to go into labor while while they were off running around the prison, and then Carl or somebody's going to have to try to go get him. I didn't think that that was going to happen. That was just brutal. But of course they got to complicate things, and I mean, I don't know. My son was even saying, well, why did they even take him? Impossible was like, why didn't they just leave him behind? What's he supposed to do out there in the middle of the prison? Which is true. They should have left him behind so he could have watched after Lori. I mean, the whole prison idea is cool, and I mean, we knew the prison was coming. You could see it in the distance at the end of last season, and I like the way they kind of skirted around the reason why 6 months they haven't been at the prison already. They went around, all these other areas were blocked, and so they decided to backtrack, and now they finally find the prison. So that's pretty cool the way they dealt with that. But again, lots of gunshots to the head, and they're dealing with the issue of running out of bullets and stuff like that. And Rick is really worn, and I think it's interesting where they flip-flopped on Laurie. At first, it seemed like she was going to turn on Rick, but now it seems like Rick is about done with her, and he's just keeping her alive to save the baby almost, even though it may or may not be his, and that's an interesting thing to deal with too. At least there's no paternity tests, that can be run. So he'll either just have to accept it, unless of course the baby comes out and has like a little mini Shane head, which would be kind of creepy. But we'll see how that goes. The second episode, when I'm actually doing this commentary, the second episode is probably about to start in 17 minutes. I won't be watching it tonight. Me and my family like to wait a couple days, and then we get it off of one of the digital things and watch it without the commercials as not to be interrupted. So that'll be pretty cool. But I knew it was going to be some harsh stuff going on, but I just thought that was extremely harsh. Next thing I wanted to briefly talk about was Star Trek. Yes, I like Star Trek, and you can see from this photo, which I grabbed off the net, it was actually, it only shows 4, but there was actually 5 of the captains at this recent Star Trek convention. The one they don't show is Patrick Stewart, who was Jean-Luc Picard of The Next Generation. But I thought it was pretty cool that all of them were gathered at once. And there's actually a thing on Netflix that William Shatner did called The Captains, where he goes around talking to the other Star Trek captains. And basically the only one missing from here is the one who plays Kirk in the new one, which is getting ready to come out with part 2 soon enough. But this looked pretty cool. I mean, if you're a Star Trek fan or nerd, as they might be called, this would be like heaven. I'm into Star Trek, actually. I like my favorite one would probably be either Enterprise or Voyager. I used to really like the Next Generation. And as far as crews go, I would have to say Next Generation probably had the strongest crew set. I mean, you have Data, you have Worf, the captain was Picard. I mean, they were on point. Riker was a good number 1. Enterprise had some strong characters. I think the strongest character was the captain, and probably T'Pol. Trip just kind of always got on my nerves. He's wishy-washy and that little country bumpkin thing. But I like the show overall. The Voyager is good. Janeway is not the strongest captain, but she does a good job, and her first officer is decent. And then the rest of the crew, again, not the strongest. I do like Neelix, He's pretty funny, and some of the other ones on there, that half Klingon girl, and I really love the episode where she got separated. It reminds me of the Hulk when he got separated from Banner. So that was pretty interesting. But I'd love to know what your favorite Star Trek is. What's your favorite captain? What's your favorite crew? What's your favorite ship? Leave a comment, video response. Again, like I said, my favorite ship would probably have to be the original Enterprise. Even though it was only a Warp 5, it was still all pretty awesome looking. And my favorite captain is Archer. And my favorite crew would be the Next Generation. Let's see, what else? Speaking of Star Trek, caught this on the news also. It was a Klingon wedding. I thought that was pretty funny. That the two nerds had found each other and went through with a Klingon wedding. So check that out on the news. It's pretty interesting. Also, as far as Fat Preacher Man goes in our channel, this Tuesday I will be putting up the video with the winner from our first giveaway and be doing the second survey contest giveaway. So please tune in after 8 p.m. and check that out. If you haven't liked us on Facebook already, we have our own Facebook fan page now. Get on there, like us, send ideas, comments, check out the pictures. Some of the stuff we're posting here comes from there and vice versa. I like to carry over, get involved in your guys' lives as much as possible. So be sure to check that out. And what we're actually watching here, in case you haven't noticed, this is actually 6B. 6 was quite long, so I divided it. Even though I tried to cut out some of the boring stuff, it still turned out pretty long. But this is it. Oh, one of the other things I'd like to share with you guys is a little project I'm working on my Fallout New Vegas gameplays. I'm actually adding a voiceover actor for the Courier. If you haven't played Fallout New Vegas, the Courier is the main character who you play. Kind of like in Skyrim, you play the Dovahkiin, the one who can communicate with the dragons, the dragon who has dragon blood in your veins. In Fallout New Vegas, the main character is, of course, the Courier. And unlike, let's say, Mass Effect 3 or other games where the main character has their own lines or their own voice actor to read their lines, Mass Effect 3 is the best example because you pick choices and then the voice actor reads them. You don't have that in Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 3 or Skyrim. So what I decided to do to my playthrough is to add a voice actor so that you get a little more out of watching it than just that dry clicking. And they do have the responses from the in-game characters, the NPCs, but I think it might be kind of cool to have someone voice act the Courier. So my gameplay is being voice acted. I'm starting at part 11. So if you want to check that out, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your opinion on it. Let me know what you think of the voice actor. He's pretty cool if you ask me. But and let me know what you think of the other videos. I just posted up a repost of 2 rants. I redid it and added something to it because the other rants, if you watch it, you'll see they were done with annotations. And as I mentioned in that video, the problem with annotations is that the annotations don't show up. They at least don't show up on my mobile device. So it kind of makes it just a picture video for going on for about 2 minutes, and it makes no sense. So I redid it with my beautiful speaking voice, so you can check that out. It's 2 in 1, 2 rants for the price of 1. Plus, that's why I first mentioned the Return of the Walking Dead. Other things that are coming out soon or already out that I'm interested in, I'm curious how you guys think about it, feel about it, is the new Fringe. And even though I want to see it, I kind of don't because it's the last season. So I'm waiting on that. We've been waiting. I think it's up to 5 or 4 episodes now. And Walter's one of my favorite characters. Olivia can get on my nerves sometimes, but she has a good heart. But Walter is just hilarious. And his antics always make me smile. His reactions. So I'm kind of waiting on that. And we just started Supernatural back up as a family watching that. And that's pretty interesting what they're doing with that. This whole after purgatory thing. And again, they did what The Walking Dead did. They skipped a year to try to give time for things to happen changes to make, and of course, so they won't have to give you a whole rundown of what life is like in purgatory. They can just give you bits and pieces, memory fragments. So I guess that helps with production costs or whatever, and helps carry the story along, so they don't have to have two separate story arcs. You know, Sam out in the real world and Sam in purgatory, and Dean in purgatory. The fact that this story is totally implausible, it doesn't make it any less fun. It's just fun to watch, to see the action and the reactions. You hate it when dumb things happen and they let things happen, but it's fun to see them, struggle through and make it and succeed. Sorry, interrupting myself, but you got to shoot those things. See how they freeze right there, and then you can smash them. You turn them to ice and you smash them. It's great. So you got to shoot those things and then kill them before they unfreeze. It's great. It makes it really fun. Anyway, back to my commentary. So excited about Sam and Dean and what they're doing. If you guys watch Supernatural, I think they're, I don't know if this is going to be the last season or if they're going to do one more after this, but they've gone through a lot of changes. Characters, stories. I mean, they just power through people on that show. Couldn't believe they finally killed off Bobby for good, and I thought they might use Purgatory as a way to bring him back because, I was curious in their world and their mythos and their mythology, what happens to a ghost when you finally exorcise it for good, when you burn the bones and all that. Is it supposed to go to its final resting place, which is them, or does it go to, Purgatory? So I was curious if there would be a way for them to get in contact with Bobby and have him help over there. Looks like things aren't going well with Misha Collins' character, Castiel. It looks like something bad went down between him and Dean. I'm curious to find that out. And I don't think we get to it in this part of this Resident Evil playthrough, but you'll find out later that there's a lot of interactions between the characters. And by that I mean the groups of characters, the 2x2 groups that where you have two here and two there, and then their paths intertwine and cross over, and you end up actually doing a little playthrough with the other two sets of characters. And from what I understand, you can turn on letting other people control those two characters. Me and Impossible and me and Benji haven't done that yet, but I did try the where you play as the zombie, and I didn't really care for that. I think I mentioned that already in one of my other commentaries. But I'm going to get ready to do a new commentary, a new video just dedicated to the Wii U, so you can come back and check that out, and we'll go over that and discuss some things about it if you want to know. But here we see that getting ever closer to figuring out who this Deborah person is that she was talking about. And actually, it makes the story kind of difficult. It gives you something to do, not that you'll want to, but that you'll have to, especially if you're playing as the Helena character. If you haven't guessed it already, it's her sister, and you're going to find that out soon. And of course, she's been doped up with whatever drug or whatever infectious agent is causing her people to become these things. So she's infected, and of course, I was telling Impossible, I was telling Benji, my son, that of course, it's going to have to be Helena who takes care of her, because that's one thing Resident Evil likes to do. They like to make it more emotional. They want you to be connected and make those choices and decisions that are hard. That's one thing I wish they would do. If there's an emblem, is a little less of the QTEs, the queued time things where you have to push the button in the right way. Just let me play through the game. Again, if you play through on the easiest difficulty, then from what I understand, the system does those things for you.
Prepared to give a couple yourself.
You're right. It's only fair, I guess.
I love how they hide bullets in pottery and experience points in pottery. Well, this is getting ready to end up, getting ready to finish, so I'll let you finish this out. Love to know what you think about the playthrough, about what I've said, the comments, the movies, the games, everything that we've been talking about. Want to hear from you guys, get your opinion about other things you'd like to hear about, other topics, other areas of discussion. And we'll be back at you soon. Be sure to listen afterwards. There is a song that is going to come on, and it's by a cool artist. I'd love you to check it out and let me know what you think of that. And check out my new ending that I'm going to be probably using on most of my videos for a while. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for spending some of your day with me, some of your time with me. Jesus bless you, and good gaming.
Deborah! Deborah! Can you hear me? Helena? Oh, thank goodness.
Okay, enough with the mystery. What the hell is going on here?
Let's just get her out of here. And then I'll tell you everything. I promise. Hang in there, sis.
You take care of her. Leave any hostiles to me.
Everybody claim they hoods, everybody claim they blocks, everybody claim they sets. But I claim New Jerusalem, Revelations 21. Check it. I don't claim no hoods, I don't claim no blocks, I don't claim no sets or jets. Well, what you claim? New Jerusalem, 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 New. I don't claim no hoods, I don't claim no blocks, I don't claim no sets or jets. Well, what you claim? New Jerusalem, 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 New. I done lived in many hoods, from all a lot was shown, but those that showed the most was 7 and Brightmo. I grew up on the block, aka the baby know ya, where brothers held funds from pushing weed and cola, but now that's over. I've been born again, I live a new life now, transforming from sin. I got a new mind now and new beliefs, so I don't rip no blocks nor claim no streets. I claim the New Jerusalem, heaven's capital city, and I would go there right now if it was up to me. Living in this world now, I don't have complete peace, but when the New Jerusalem comes down, I'll be totally free, totally free. I rep the holy city, the one and only city. So if you rolling with me, please stand up, stand up. I rep the holy city, the one and only city. So if you rolling with me, put your hands up. New I don't claim no hoods, I don't claim no blocks, I don't claim no sets or jets. Well, what you claim? New Jerusalem, 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 New. I don't claim no hoods, I don't claim no blocks, I don't claim no sets or jets. Well, what you claim? New Jerusalem, 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 New. A place where God dwells with his people and wipes all the tears away from their eyes. A place that has no type of evil, no tricks of Satan, no sins and lies. A place where no sickness nor devil arise. The sun is not needed, God makes it shine. It's no night there, it's day all the time. No more pain, no more hurt, no more sorrow. It's all good there, every day is worship time. And no need of worrying about tomorrow. Check it, the streets is paved with gold, here only the saved go. So why in this hell would I rep a block of set foes? I claim the holy city, the one and only city. So if you rolling with me, please stand up, stand up. I rep the holy city, the one and only city. So if you rolling with me, put your hands up. I don't claim no hoods, I don't claim no blocks, I don't claim no sets or jets. Well, what you claim? New Jerusalem, 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 New. I don't claim no hoods, I don't claim no blocks, I don't claim no sets or jets. Well, what you claim? New Jerusalem, 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 New. If all this life has to offer is what I'm in for, of all men of this earth, I'm the most miserable. Not only in this life do I have hope in Christ, but I have hope in the Christ in the afterlife. That's where I wanna be, that's where I'm gonna be, to spend eternity with a true king. That's where I wanna be, that's where I'm gonna be, to spend eternity with a true king. It's a beautiful place and I believe by faith that one day this is where I will stay. This is something worth claiming, much better than gang banging. If you believe, then let me hear you say. I rep the holy city, the one and only city. So if you're rolling with me, please stand up. I rep the holy city, the one and only city. So if you're rolling with me, put your hands up. I don't claim no hoods, I don't claim no blocks, I don't claim no sets of checks. Well, what you claim? New Jerusalem, New Jerusalem, New Jerusalem, New Jerusalem, New Jerusalem, New Jerusalem, New Jerusalem. I don't claim no hoods, I don't claim no blocks, I don't claim no sets of checks. Well, what you claim? New Jerusalem, 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 New.
Subscribe.